I just figured I'd get on here quick, folks, and let you know my take on this bullshit you're hearing. You know, what's going to happen with this China and Russia and Syria and all this bullshit, it's going to happen sooner than later. And the reason I say it's going to happen sooner is because China themselves, well, you got to remember, 80% of their food, like 80% of their energy, is imported. They don't have enough food, they don't have enough energy, gas, oil, to go into a war. It'll be very short lived. They don't have what it takes, supply wise. Especially in a country with as many billions as there is. It'll turn into France. They're not only going to have a problem outside their country, but they're going to have one internally, just like Russia. Russia's the same way. They don't have the energy. They have it, but the problem is all the people that knew anything about it left at the beginning of all this. The people that were running the equipment and making it pump and making it work, they said, well, we got to go home. Bye. They're like 64, 65% below where they should be in capacity in the whole 9 yards, the strategic reserve, the fucking whole 9 yards, man. So there again, they don't have the fuel and the oil they need to fight a protracted war. So what's that leave them? Something very quick, very hard, and fast. Now, if you don't blitz them and hit them hard and fast with everything you got and overwhelm your opposition, well, the only thing left for them is to use their nuclear weapons. And that's where we're sitting. Funny how things kind of work themselves out and through. Pretty soon they'll have no choice. How they're going to get the capacity and the fuel and the gas and the food and everything else they need. Because it's not that they just need fuel to fight a war, but they have to have fuel in their country internally to build munitions, to grow the food, to feed their soldiers, to feed their population, so their population doesn't turn into France. You see, what you're hearing from these people is a bunch of bullshit and lies. They've been holding, playing games and everything else for the last year and a half, so they could get themselves in a position where they're ready to attack you. You're never in 100%. It's never going to be 100% ready to rock and roll, man. There's too many variables. Too many things that could happen that's out of your control. But one thing they have to have is fuel, oil, food. They have to have that. Not only to fight a war, but for their own people too. Because they're going to be fighting it on two fronts. Then their own. Once their country falls internally, well, hell, the war's over. And these dumb bastards in this country, and I'm talking about the government, they want to impose another, like I heard this Biden character wants, 4.7 trillion in new taxes? In new taxes. Dude, you don't get it, do you? You're going to have this country just like France. Only problem is we'll do a better job than France. I mean, this is a sad state of affairs. I mean, I don't think anybody wants this. Nobody wants this shit. Nobody wants this to happen. Fuck no, at least of all me. I don't want to fuck this crap to go on. I don't want little kids and mothers and fathers and innocent people and good people fighting for their lives. just trying to survive. That's bullshit. I don't want this for anybody in the whole fucking world, man. I don't want this for the Russians, the Chinese, fucking the Saudis. None of them. Nobody. It's like, Jesus, man, why can't you fucking people just get along? Oh, I know, it sounds easy, but all it comes down to is they just want some respect. They want a place at the table. They want to say at the table. They want it fair. Think about that for 2 seconds, people. They want it fair. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like the American people going to the government and says, knock your shit off, man, we just want it fair. We want an even playing field here. Instead of stacking the deck saying, hey, we're the rulers, we're your kings, bow down, kiss our ass, beg for some fucking scraps from us, we just say, hey, all we want is a fair shake. But, we got your laws and all your bullshit that goes with it. All one-sided, of course. You know, you're not a slave, people. God made you free. And if you don't have a relationship with God, you need to start. It's not hard. Just pray to Him. He'll know. Do you have to get on your knees and bow your head and pray for your hands and all that stuff? Well, I don't know. I kind of doubt it. I think He'll hear you. He'll know if you're sincere or not. So if you don't, by God, maybe you should. Hopefully God will divert all this in His own miracle, His own way. But it's a prophecy. It's supposed to go down this way. We're supposed to go down this path. And we're going down it. Because we wouldn't do as well. We had to fight and argue and just be a bunch of assholes to each other and to Him. You know? We wouldn't listen. We were rebellious. And this is what happens when you are. Adam and Eve got kicked out of the garden. They didn't want to listen either. There's a whole list of things in the Bible where people didn't listen, and they paid the price. And we not listening either, and we're paying the price. So, now it comes down to individual people. So hopefully, you get right, do the right thing. I'm not saying you got a right to defend yourself, people. You got a right to life. You got a right to a free shake. You're not a slave. God paid for you with His blood. He didn't pay just the elite, the kings and the queens. No, everybody. You just have to accept that and do what's right. Well, I've rambled on long enough, and I could ramble longer, but like I said, what's going to happen is going to happen sooner than later, because if it doesn't happen sooner, they're not going to have the energy they need. That's about all I was going to say. I hope everyone is well, and hope you stay well. I hope you stay healthy and safe.